Be on the map where the spirits flow. You found your way to the lost gold. You're chasing a trail that has long gone cold. To tell the stories that must be told. Michael's jokes light up the night. Katie's eyes catch every sight. MaryLynn connects with other realms. Together they unveil the tales.
And we're live.
Wow, like that?
What's that?
Well, just remember, even though we're live, sharing is still caring. So
That's
everybody
right.
make sure you go out, grab your phone, your tablet, your stone, chisel, whatever it is you use, and share the episode so you could share in the laughs, the fun, and of course, the drinking.
There you go. And we'll do things in a little reverse order. So we'll do, you said sharing is caring first, and then I'll say, hey, welcome to the Lost Go podcast with
He
Mike.
was raring to go.
He was, I'll say.
Who, me?
Mike, yeah.
Yep.
I'm right here.
I know. Well, I know, but you're raring to go.
I
You're
am.
ready to get it started.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Let's do it. All right. So we have another exciting and awesome guest for you this evening.
Who?
I'm going to read. I'm going to read a little bit of his bio before Miss MaryLynn brings him on. Chris Mendace Is. I hope I got that last name right. Chris stands as a highly esteemed and profoundly dedicated paranormal investigator. He has been exploring the supernatural since 2017. And then one more thing I'll say before we bring him on. He has been featured on some very compelling documentaries, among them Darkness in Suburbia, Demon Castle, The Haunted Shanley Hotel, Cabin on 360, and A Residential Haunting in Suffolk. So
Nice.
there we go.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and there he is. Mr. Chris Mendace, how are you, my friend?
Great. How about yourself? Thank you guys for having me on. How have you guys been? I haven't seen you guys in a while.
That is
Yeah.
just an incredibly well put together office.
Yeah, it's a wall, a light,
It look-
and another light.
It looks like you've lived there for at least a day.
Hold on, let me angle the door out. There you go.
And you're squatting in your own house, huh, Chris?
I am. If you
Yeah.
see this house, you would laugh. It looks like a porter lives here. But we just moved. We're literally just in the process of moving, so we have things everywhere, all around the house. Got to step over boxes. Yeah, it's fun.
What made you do the move?
So we were living in a house, so we were renting, and we ended up buying a house. I have two kids, so I needed something bigger, a little more space for them to be in, have their own room. So yeah,
This is from that seedless watermelon money, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Katie was saying that you invented that.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah,
I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's been great, man. I invented that. And ever since I invented that, I've just been making a lot of money.
It's
Yeah.
all uphill, all downhill, I guess. Or
Yeah,
uphill.
but-
I don't know.
but-
That's weird.
Depends where you're standing.
Yeah, right. That is true. Well, congratulations to your seedless empire.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Spirits of the
Appreciate it.
spirits.
Aha,
Here's for the spirit.
I got myself left looks. Just
Oh,
so
and
you
what
guys
do you
don't
get?
think I'm cheating. Hold on.
Uh,
Some vodka,
Woo!
strawberry juice.
Oh, I love it. I love
There
it.
you go.
It's pretty
That
good.
works. Cheers, everybody.
Of course, we have our porta
like
potty
that.
so we can get shit faced.
That's freaking awesome.
Right?
Hi, Julia. Hi, Annie.
Hello.
I can't see the
Just,
comments, so I
Robert.
don't know who all's here.
It's over on the right-hand side of your screen, fifth icon down that says
Okay.
chat.
Okay.
Yeah, the chat button is what does
Pardon
the
me,
chat.
everybody. I'm currently
He's
learning
learning.
how to podcast.
So you're friends with Katie. Do you still live like was that Pennsylvania or something?
No, I actually live in New Jersey. I live in South Jersey, so I'm not too far from Pennsylvania.
Oh,
At least
nice.
Philadelphia, so it's
Are
probably
you
30,
friends with
35 minutes.
Mike Castro or April Bussett or?
No, so I just recently found out that they're not too far from me.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
Small
they're
world.
great. They're good people. They're good people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
met
heard
Mike
the
before.
accent, so I figured you were from up there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
accent you're hearing is the little Puerto Rican accent, and then the Jersey accent mixed in with
Yep,
that.
it's all mixed.
It's never good.
And we met,
are there any? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say Chris and I met officially, I guess, on the Booze on the Battleship last year, right?
Mhm.
And then we've done some investigating together since. And tell everybody where we were. We investigated in November. Was that November? No, October.
October.
October. Tell everybody about that place because
Yeah,
it's a hidden gem. Really, it's awesome.
It's freaking awesome, man. We went over to the Convent Tattoo Shop here in Deptford, New Jersey. It's actually pretty close to where I live. The lady that owns it, her name's Sophia. Great person. I went there before they had. Basically, she was on Ghost Hunters. When she was on Ghost Hunters, they were people started sending her all these haunted objects, and she started collecting all these haunted objects as they just started sending it to her. And right now, she has a massive collection, including actual skeletons, like human skeletons. And her basement is now a museum. It's called I want to say it's the Museum of the Dead, or it's freaking awesome.
John Wayne Gacy is like, I completely missed the mark.
Yes. So John Wayne Gacy, she has a couple actual.
I could have just used that. I wouldn't have had to have buried him.
Yeah.
You know.
Turn it into a museum.
Yeah. But no, I didn't kill these people. It's a museum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just skeletons that I've collected.
Right.
So now you're giving somebody the idea.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Last time. So the last time we were there, we had some phenomenal activity. Some great activity just came through. Katie, if you want to talk about that, because you were there, you witnessed it.
Yeah, it was kind of a and full disclosure, I feel like this is one of those places that was haunted to begin with, but then just the energy got amped up because she just started collecting, and now, I mean, everywhere you walk, right, Chris, you just bump into a haunted doll or a creepy clown or something. It's insane.
At what point do you think, and this actually goes out to both you and MaryLynn, but Chris, you were there, Katie, you were there. At what point do you think, maybe these aren't beings attached, it's more of a like a circuit, like a psychic circuit or psychic wave of stored energy? Or when do you go, these are all bleeding together and feeding each other off of just prior areas that it kind of can grow from that itself?
That's so it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting vibe once you walk in. If you, Katie, you were there. I have a feeling that all the activity that happens there has, like you said, it has a lot to do with everything surrounding it, including the location. The location itself, I think, sits in a really good property portion of it where you even experience things outside. One of the craziest thing until this day, I'm still trying to it boggles my mind thinking about it. I was there with another friend of mine. Her name was Nancy. We investigated all night by ourselves.
What's her last name?
Drew.
Davis.
I was hoping it was Fancy Pants, but that's fine.
So we were investigating, and we ended up seeing something weird object flying around us outside. And until this day, to me, it looked like a fairy. It was caught on video too, like that. The actual security cameras caught it, and it was right around the same time where she was talking about adding or doing an addition to the property to build a museum, which she ended up doing it in the basement instead of an addition. But that was just a whole nother story for a whole nother day, but it was crazy. It was pretty interesting. Katie,
do you think all of it is like truly like haunted, or do you think this is like where maybe somebody's had their own issues and it's kind of manifested on the doll, or what do you think, or toy, or whatever it is?
So I think the location itself is haunted, and
Okay.
I think everything else that's coming in with it is amping up the activity. There's two different sets of property built into one. The one portion of the tattoo shop was actually another residence that was moved from further down the road to the tattoo shop to make it the building that it is today.
Oh, all right.
So I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. So you had two haunted buildings to begin with, and then they were smashed together into one big haunted building. So the building kind of shares ghosts from two different families, right? Which is unique. That's one of the very interesting things I found about it, is that you don't see that very often, where you have two haunted buildings and they were kind of stitched together, and now the whole building itself is sharing spirits from different generations, different families, different timelines. So I've
the
never...
same could be said with a place like Trans-Allegheny, right? It's got 130 years of history of taking care of, the mentally infirm, I guess. So, I guess there's several generations and different styles, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, 60s. So I guess you would, I guess you could technically run into that there, someplace like that as well, I assume.
Yeah. And not only that, but like if you think about it, all these things that people are sending in is constant activity, different types of activity just mixing in with what's already there, which is, like I said, it's fun to investigate, but it's also hard to investigate because you can't focus and pinpoint exactly what you're trying to investigate. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So one of the things I talked to her about doing was actually finding a little, if you remember the old hearing booths that you would go in and listen to like the sound, and they used to close you in there.
And what was it like? You insert the dollar and then the blinds would open and the lady dances.
Yeah, exactly. That same exact one. It had the little pole in the middle. So I was telling her to get one of them and to just come in and just so you can isolate each individual item, including the lady.
It's actually a pretty cool idea. And the other thing too is, like, do you think, even especially with objects, right? Because they feel like as a spirit or entity, demon, whatever, you immediately take the identity of whatever object you're in, right? So you don't need to create a different identity, right? Whereas if you are a spirit, do you think it's possible, especially if you believe in past lives, right, that the spirit is just picking an identity that it feels it can get most of a reference to you, like it can relate to you the most, to get a rise from you?
No, there are certain types of items there that are like that. One of the items that she has is an old Ronald McDonald clown that came from somewhere like Mexico or something. And that actual item was related to several murders that happened in the area, and they consider it to be like demonic and supposedly the clown. But at the end of the day, like, you obviously investigated, you guys investigated, like the demonic things aren't really that. How do I put this? Like, it's not really something you deal with every day. You know what I mean? It's not how everybody puts it out there. This demon, this is that.
When you go to a haunted house, you're more likely to find semen than a demon. Don't bring a black light, folks.
Yeah.
Mike, you try to work that phrase into every stinking podcast you do.
Yes.
Every time. You're more likely to find semen than a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even organically. It's genius.
I'm gonna have to start using that.
You're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
I grant you thy saying.
Yep. Yeah. So the experience that we had there, Chris, was crazy. And it was one of those things where, sometimes you go to a haunted location, you expect certain things to happen. You see shadows, you hear disembodied voices.
Yeah.
And then every now and again, you have this experience that literally comes out of the blue, and you're like, if I can curse, you're like, what the fuck? And that was one of those moments for us, because we were it was the end of the night and we were kind of cleaning up, right? And you're gonna have to explain to everybody what it was. You had like a little round light.
Twinkie. Oh.
No, it wasn't a Twinkie.
No.
Wasn't edible. It
I
was
have them too. Definitely have them.
Yeah.
But
My man.
I wish we could
Well,
bring that clip up because that clip is amazing of what
actually,
happened.
I might be able to post it on.
Are you able to
I
bring?
might have it on. I might have it on TikTok where I can just post a link for it.
Yeah, if you can do that, then I can play it.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Well, and when you're dealing with these type of objects, right? Like when you start seeing so many different objects, and then you see something like Annabelle. I mean, does that make you think Annabelle is really just similar? And we've hyped it up as humans. We've charged it based on our own manifestations of it, or do you think there is really a potential that Annabelle is really something greater beyond and is just waiting patiently to give us heart attacks after eating McDonald's cheeseburgers? I don't know.
Yeah, see, I think the whole pareidolia aspect kicks in when you're dealing with objects, especially creepy objects that look scary and haunted.
There's a reason they don't put googly eyes on dildos.
That's true. Well, what if they did? I mean, that'd be kind of
right. It would get awkward,
right? It's like you're being watched the whole time.
Yeah. Instantly paranoid.
I found the clips. I'm gonna try to grab this link and send it over.
Okay.
Where do I send?
I'll have my shot.
If you want to send it on Facebook, I can grab the link from there.
I'll do it right there for you. Let's see here. Boom.
And there's also this.
I forward it.
Oh, cool. Yep. There's also this whole idea of when it comes to objects that there's this theory that like a spirit or intention can be stuck in an object because they're actually from an alternate reality that has somehow accidentally phased through and gets stuck. And because it's an intention, it's not actually attached to a person. Therefore, it attaches itself to an object related to a person. What do you think about something like that?
That's actually a good theory. I've never even heard of that before, or even thought about that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
You can throw that in with the semen demon thing. It's great.
Yeah. So here's the video. So you see, so I had a 360 camera set up. One of those Insta360, so it records all around.
Love those. Yeah.
This is actual movement. We're getting ready to change the batteries to the camera and start getting ready to go. Just so you guys know, that light itself has rubber on the bottom, so it's almost like it's not easy to slide like that. Katie, I mean,
yeah, and that's a wooden handrail.
And so it just slid like that? Boop, boop.
Yep.
As he went to reach for it, it slid out of his reach.
Out of his hand, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see this is the phone. My phone.
Yeah, look at that. It was moving before you even touched it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you guys a security security.
That kind of reminds me of my first date. She did the same thing to me.
She was slippery.
Yeah. She instantly moved away the second she realized I was going in. I get it now, That's fine.
I was going with the portion where she slid out.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's supposed to be my job.
We got really inappropriate very quickly this week. Usually it takes us a good 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Where are we at here? Okay, so here's the security camera footage. I'm going to send it to you also. Okay. This is just an actual video. Let me see. Here it is.
How's the chat
doing,
MaryLynn?
It's good. I keep popping back over looking.
Okay.
McDonald's is life per Annie. When we do the rallies, the Gold Rush, Legends, it is quite literally the only thing that we eat because it's one of the few restaurants that's open pretty much all the time. And it's also, well, it was cheap. Now you have to be a goddamn Sizzler millionaire to eat there. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we do eat a lot of McDonald's.
Well, yeah, well, everybody does on the road. Because
Yeah,
you're right, it's one of those things. And while Chris is looking for
would
that,
be my ultimate choice.
what is?
Whataburger.
Whataburger? That's good. We don't have those around here.
I haven't heard of that. What is it? Is it just a burger spot?
Yeah, but literally it is open 24 hours. You can even go into the chain at 3 a.m. and eat. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's
That
kind of like
reminds me of a
Five
burger
Guys.
fi. Okay.
A burger fi?
Yeah, have you ever heard of that or no?
No.
That it's like Florida, and I think Philadelphia has one too.
Okay.
It's similar. It's 24/7 burger spot, and they sell beer and all sorts of stuff with it too.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just here it is right here. All right.
See, we don't have them in Vegas either. We have White Castle, and that's basically just like a burger spot with crackheads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That adds entertainment value.
White Castle is more like a New York stuff for us. North Jersey, New York.
Yeah.
It's
set ascending. I don't know if it's just too large or what.
Well,
there we go.
while we're waiting for that to send over, let's kind of get back to the whole, parallel realities thing. And what is your point of view on when you're doing a ghost hunt? Thinking, okay, well, maybe I'm not actually in touch with ghosts. Maybe I'm in touch with something from a parallel reality, or ghosts that are stuck. Stuck.
See, so the parallel reality to me, it's big, it's real. Think about when you have a chapstick or something you put down around your house and you go to reach for it, you go to look for it, and it's not there anymore. How do you not know you're walking through different, a different realm, a different universe? Like you're living the same thing in a whole different area.
It's true.
How do you know that's not happening? Like, how do you know that the people you're talking to every day are real or not? Something that they're not ghosts or somebody else that other people aren't seeing.
I've got about 7 different theories, and we're going to cover those here in a minute. We're going to go over every single theory and see what you think. But before we do that, let's see this video.
Okay.
Hasn't come up yet.
You bitch.
It's set on my end to the group.
Yeah, I went to the group.
Yeah.
Other than that, how's everybody doing in the chat? How are you guys doing? How you feeling?
It's not a new one. I haven't got the new one yet.
It said he sent a video. I saw it. It popped up.
Oh, I see it here. Okay, hold on.
And hello, everybody in the chat while we're kind of
So, Chris, you got 2 kids?
Figuring some shit out.
I do.
Nice. Are they both yours?
Yes, as far as I know.
Oh, very cool, man. Nice. Did you get them at the same time, or?
Nah, different times.
Was it like a buy one, get one, or like how'd that work out?
It was you buy one and then a couple years later you get a refund on the other one and you get a half of the other one.
Nice. Okay, that's cool. How old are they?
One just turned 12 and the other one's about to turn 9.
Oh man, so they're still youngins. Can you give me a social security numbers or anything, or?
Yeah. I'll get that after.
No, but that's awesome, man. When they're still young, that's great. All right, let's see here.
Yeah, this is another view of the same incident.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the security camera footage.
There he is. He's trying to make content for his OnlyFans.
Yes.
And I didn't realize I had started to walk away, Chris, as it happened, and I turned back.
Oh, wow. It did.
Yep.
It moved.
Yep.
He didn't touch it.
It's like it was trying to avoid you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was picking it up to try to put it away because we were cleaning up right as that was happening.
That's wild.
And those are how many bodies? She has 4 human skeletons there, and then behind us.
There's 5. Yeah, just one.
Is there 5 there? Okay.
Yeah, there's 5 there, and then there's a couple more downstairs in the museum.
And there's like what looks like a goat.
There is a goat. She's got multiple goats throughout the.
There is a goat right there.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. How appropriate.
That's funny, is I actually saw the goat, and then I realized you're talking about actual skeletal remains. It took me a minute.
MaryLynn, I need to get you here because, I mean, not only are there human remains and cursed dolls and creepy clowns, but there's like animal heads everywhere. Every animal you can possibly think of is hanging on a wall somewhere. She has stuff in jars. She has specimens in jars. It's bonkers.
Let's talk about that. What is your thought on, do you think that a human could do so poorly, or maybe they just need to be retaught that they can accidentally or on purposely inhabit the body of an animal. And they live as a dog for 7, 8 years until they pass. And then maybe based on their behavior, they could actually become back to a human body again.
Huh. That sounds like a movie.
It could
that
be,
happen in the
but
movie?
do
It could
you
be.
think there's something there? Because there's a lot of talk right now. Like I think
So-
Canada has just passed a law that says dogs are sentient beings, so killing a dog is
It's-
considered first-degree murder.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, there's the whole mentality of reincarnation. You know what I mean? If you think about it, you
Did you say a
come
whole
back-
mentality of retardation?
reincarnation.
That's
like
the story of
coming
my
back.
life. Okay,
It's like coming back as
reincarnation.
something else. Yeah, reincarnation is coming back as something else. I mean, so a lot of people have always talked about that, and I've mentioned coming back as an animal, or coming back as a cat or a goat, or as an animal that they actually liked, or even they're spirit animals. You know what I mean? Like, so my thought behind it is that it's possible. I mean, anything is possible, especially when you're doing this and you can't explain half of the things that you see. I mean, clearly, if you see in that picture or that video, you see a light just plainly moving by itself. So how does that happen?
Right.
If that's possible, how, there's no explanation for nothing else. So my mind's always open to things, especially things like that. But
And there's there's also the thought that animals could be something more akin to like an alien being, right? Like in other words, they are their own species, their own subset with their own religion, their own thing. Is just we don't have their wavelength, their way of communication, their way of talking, their way of anything. So for all we know, like they could be living their own existential crisis. Yeah, and we may not even realize that they're going through something, right?
yeah, well, think about like the Egyptians. They were really big into cats and different types of animal, dogs.
They invented the furry con. Yeah.
What think about how, like, what did they know that we don't know? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and they also talk about they had a way to invent electricity. Even they'd shown.
Without power.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, there's definitely, and there's hieroglyphs that show that there could have easily been larger beings involved that they had learned from. So I mean, it definitely shows you that maybe you don't believe in aliens, but maybe at some point, maybe aliens were here more often. And it's possible that they could have easily intermixed. Like, in fact, scientists just discovered that they believe, I just saw this today, that they believe that most of the human species actually came from a meteorite, not from the evolution of an animal on the planet, that it actually came from off planet and wasn't until after the meteorite struck that humans started to develop.
Really?
Which would mean, yes. Yeah, I swear to God, this just came out.
That's
just
kind
saw
of
it
like
today.
there's a really old movie out there called Starman with Jeff Bridges. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's a really good
I
one.
have seen that. Yep.
And he crash lands inside of a meteorite, and he's buck naked, of course, because that's what happens. Like Terminator.
I would do it.
Naked, right? I mean, there's no other way to do it. And he crash lands on Earth inside of a meteorite.
Mhm.
So,
Right. So there is definitely a possibility, and it doesn't mean that we started off like we crashed and ta-da, we're in human form. I mean, we literally could have just been a blob of DNA, essentially. And it takes thousands, hundreds of thousands of years to develop into something where we are a lot more sentient and fully developed, I guess.
So think about it. I mean, if that, like, with that theory, like, how did our DNA get developed? You know what I mean? That's
right. Well, and this is the other crazy thing. What if
Semen from the demon?
Semen from the demon.
it could have been, or what if it came from a completely different galaxy, different solar system
MaryLynn.
that maybe we found a way to destroy, and in its destruction, pieces of that existence are spread all over the universe and eventually landed on Earth.
I set you up for that one, man, and you didn't catch on to it.
I know. I'm too into it, man. I'm excited. I don't go after the low hanging fruit, okay, MaryLynn? God.
I got it.
Ron
She's-
just came in. Ron, I've got my little Crown Royal right now, some blackberry. I'm just sipping on some of that. It's absolutely delicious. Not that I can taste, but it probably is. Oh, Chris, you don't even know this. Yeah, I can't taste, buddy.
Oh, really? Why?
COVID. No, not really.
Oh,
I hit my head, so I
sense.
permanently lost my ability to smell, and I'm deaf in my left ear.
Really?
Yes, I crushed my skull in 3 places, blew
Jeez.
my ear out like a shotgun. So fun. Yeah. So, but I'm alive. MaryLynn was there. She actually had to hold me down while I was bleeding from the head.
And I had to
Oh,
hold
wow.
his head. Yep.
Man.
6 days in the
essentially,
ICU.
So essentially, she saved you.
Yeah. All this over a toaster oven. That's the crazy part.
He
Wow.
wouldn't listen to me. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought it was one
I'm
of those-
telling you right now, Easy Mac is not as easy as it sounds. You do
No,
have
it's
to add water. Yeah,
That's
absurd.
great.
No, but actually, I was on a scooter. I was going like a whopping 10 miles an hour with an associate, and the entire sidewalk in Beverly Hills was destroyed. I hit it. When I hit the pavement, the scooter came onto the back of my skull and literally just crushed me.
Jeez.
I
Well-
checked out, dude. I was gone. Like, and that's
Really?
actually why I kind of bring up some of the parallel universe stuff, is because, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I was dead, dude. Like, I was gone.
he was gone.
I have no memory. I have nothing. And it made me realize that there's either A, maybe I slid over to another universe and lived another Mike's life briefly, or shared a body with another Mike's life, and that's why I have no memory, because it's in a different reality. Or I just stopped ceasing to exist because I wasn't worthy of whatever comes next. Right? And that made me think about what we experience when we do ghost hunts. What if the people that we see are stuck here not because they've been told or they're forced to be stuck here, but maybe it is in their own subconscious spiritual mind, they don't feel like they're worthy of whatever comes next, or they're afraid.
Yeah. So what's your thought on that? Like with the whole space aspect of things, right? So you're saying like
Yeah.
you were gone. So obviously, and I guess you would have been gone in space then, right? Like you in your mentality, like you would have been in space somewhere else, like actually
Maybe not even in
traveling
space,
different
but-
dimensions.
Let's say it's a parallel reality. That could literally mean the difference between taking, where you make a left instead of a right, and you're instantly in a completely different reality, right?
Right.
You are in a different plane of existence, like that.
Whole different dimension.
Whole different, but maybe you don't even realize that.
Yeah.
So
Right?
that's not even like that's like one step above a near-death experience, because when you talk about near-death experiences, you're detached from your body, kind of looking down or looking around at your surroundings, but you were just gone. So yeah, Chris, you might be onto
Gone.
something. Like maybe, you disappeared and went to another universe or some other plane.
And what if I did go to maybe I went somewhere safe. Maybe we went somewhere and said, okay, my body has basically just told me I'm broken, I'm out. You better get out of here before it gets bad. So I did. Maybe I bailed. Maybe I literally bailed and said, okay, well, hey, let me know if things change. Otherwise, I'm just going to hang out with Mike 2.6738. Right? I don't know, right? And then all of a sudden, maybe I just get like this update from my body, just that little psychic string that connects you to yourself, right? There's just that little twang that says, hey, I think I'm going to be all right. So I say, Mike 2768, I'm out. Thanks for hosting me.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, the first thing
James.
I remember is somebody saying, do you know where you're at? And I said, Boulder City. And they said, no, you're at UCLA. And I said, I am? And they said, yeah, you hit your head. I said, I did? They're like, yep. I said, oh, all right. That was it.
Wow. No feeling, no nothing. You didn't feel anything or nothing like that.
Nothing. I have no feeling. I have no nothing. So it made me think, well, if if I was dead and there was nothing, that I would cease to exist, meaning I could never come back. Meaning the fact that we died and that there's nothing after death no longer holds weight. Otherwise, I would have never been able to come back, period, because I would have been dead, which would have been nothing, which is why I have nothing. But there has to be something now.
And Mike, and that's where you say
Right.
that you don't remember anything for those 6 days, but
Nothing.
in the ICU, you were talking to me. You were having conversations with me, trying to get up and go to the bathroom, having to go pee, and every 5
Yeah.
minutes trying to get out of bed, and me having to tell you that you can't get out. And so, yeah, you were talking, and you were physically there, but mentally you were not.
I even showed her my wiener because I didn't know what a catheter was. You know, I'm like, what is this?
I was like, you can't get up and go.
MaryLynn was like, my eyes.
He's like, come here. And I'm like, what? He's like, what's that?
And with that, he's gone.
Oh, what happened, Lee?
He
No,
does
he
that sometimes.
connection.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've seen more Mike than I wanted to.
Yeah. Chris, I don't know if you'll really want to talk about it. We can touch on it a little bit, but one of the many reasons I wanted to have you on is because of what you do for a living, juxtaposed with the supernatural, right?
Yeah.
Because we've had other guests on before who are in a similar vocation for a day job as you. We had Michael John Angus on like two weeks ago. You know, he's a firefighter and EMT, and he talks about, you know, the death he sees on a daily basis and all the different things that he experiences. He's back. So I was just curious from your perspective, the types of things you've seen, if you can talk about that, tell viewers a little bit, because I know what you do, but tell viewers about a little bit about that.
So there are certain things that I can talk about, especially with my job wise. But as far as my job goes, obviously I'm a police officer. I've been doing it since 2015. Within that time frame, I've been a detective. I've done all sorts of cool different things. You know what I mean? But
Nice.
Touching a little bit into the job aspect and the paranormal, like I feel that the job itself has heightened some awareness in me that I didn't know I had. It makes you more noticeable to things. It makes you pay more attention or closer attention to detail, if that makes any sense. There's things that you notice that as a regular person, just every day looking at your phone or doing something, you would never notice. With that being said, there's been several cases that I've been on, which I really can't talk about, that have another. I'm trying to figure out how to put this in words, like more of a paranormal aspect to it than the case itself, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Several. There's one case in particular which I can tell you guys after we get off the air, but while we're on,
you bet, Austin.
Yeah, so like while we're on, I can't give you guys that detail, but it's interesting because, like I said, Katie, like some of those stuff, the one case itself is still ongoing, but it just makes you pay closer attention to detail. And some of the things that you see
like
makes you think.
An emotional aspect to it. Like do you think it tugged at you emotionally, and that's what made you more aware, or do you think it was more?
I wouldn't say emotionally, but you definitely are more able to read people's energy better. I've been able to do it since I became a cop, that's how I've gotten a lot of my gun and drug arrests, is based off of that energy that you're feeling coming from that person.
Well, if they're doing this, they're probably on drugs, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, the ones we deal with are like that. They're more. A little more intense.
Yeah, sure. PCP,
but,
yeah, you know me.
So do you ever use psychics for any of your stuff?
I haven't. We did have a old sergeant of mine. She was actually psychic as well, and she would use her abilities for some cases. That was in the old department that I used to be in, and I had a really good friend of mine. She worked with the FBI doing remote viewing. She did a lot of cases where she was remote viewing for missing person cases and things in that aspect. She was actually able to locate a child that was missing. I think it was 36 hours. She was able to describe the room the kid was in. She was able to actually give them the address, and they were able to locate her within 36 hours of her going missing. Still alive.
Awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I've done a
amazing.
few cases with Baton Rouge Police Department.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. Like even remote viewing, I don't know. A lot of people don't know, but that was something that was practiced back in the military. The military it was a big military project that they used to do, where they used to train soldiers on how to remote view. They would give them coordinates and a picture, and they would.
The men who stare at goats.
Men who stare at goats. There we are with goats again.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, honestly, if you haven't seen it, it's a movie.
There was a movie. Yeah, I know about the movie also. Yeah.
But it's a funny movie, but it's a fantastic movie. But it talks specifically about what you're referencing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then, in addition to that, going back to your whole incident that happened to you.
Yeah.
What's your thought? I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's the unified field theory. It was one of Albert Einstein's biggest mystery, where a lot of people think that he actually found it. That's why he ended up dying. But it's if you can control space, you can control time. If you control time, you control space, meaning that you can time travel. You can travel through space as if there wasn't a time form or time frame. It was more of just the space of it all. That was also it's been used in a lot of military projects. Also, like the Philadelphia experiment. I don't know if Katie, you might be familiar with that.
Yep.
And there's a lot of different other military projects that has actually been used for. But the Philadelphia experiment is actually one of the biggest projects that was actually the unified field theory was actually used and predominantly used for, according to the whole story.
All right. Well, okay, this is where Funny Mike has to take a step back and Smart Mike comes in a little bit. So I believe, first and foremost, that we do not have the capacity to travel into the past, but we have the ability to see the past. Okay. A case in point would actually be the universe that we see as it is today. If you were looking at a planet that is 1.2 light years away, you were seeing something from 1.2 light years ago, not as it is now, but as it was then. So to travel, to master space, you have to master time. To do that, you would actually have to see the future, not predict, but see. Therefore, you could fold, which would be the ability to master matter, and then you would need the energy to actually, after the fold, to move from one part of the fold to the other, which would literally be moving into the future. Because that is the only way that you would actually be able to see where you were going. Because if you plan to go like where I am now, and let's say I'm looking at Orion's belt, and I decide to travel to the middle of Orion's belt, by the time I get there, Orion's belt will no longer be there because 6.7 billion light years have passed. So I would literally need to find a way to fold space to find not where it is, but where it not where it was, but where it is now. If that makes sense. So you literally have to find a way to master matter, energy, space, and time.
Huh. It's interesting. I mean, it's smart.
Yeah. So that's my own take on that. So if we could figure out a way to actually see into the future, to predict or to know where we're going to go, things change a lot.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I try not to share this part of myself, but he's bringing it out of me because it's a good question.
See?
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
It's cool.
Let's have another drink.
Yeah. Wow.
Look, you left them speechless, man.
Okay, so how about this? My dog is like up my ass. Hold on.
I hope it's not up your ass.
She's very demanding when it comes to treats. She's got to have it like right now. Yeah. So she comes, barks at me, got her treat, and then she ran off. So, okay, first off, so this is the very first.
Hi, Bonnie.
Bonnie! This is the very first parallel universe theory that I found. It's called the sliding doors theory. So I'm just going to kind of go through these, and if something indicates to you, tell me what indicates and why. The sliding doors theory is every choice you didn't make, okay, created another version of you. Your other selves are living out every what if. So basically, every decision you chose the opposite, right? So let's say you chose to go this way, there is still a version of you that chose the opposite. And then each branch creates a new version of you in that reality. So there is a version of you per this saying there are multiple realities where you continue to make the opposite choices.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a movie like that too with it's called Sliding Doors. It's an older one with Gwyneth Paltrow and Ben Affleck. And they start off dating. I'm not going to ruin it because I don't remember all of it anyway, but they start off dating and then they break up and she goes off and dates somebody else. And so then there's this new door that's created. And then he goes off and, moves on from her and creates a new life. And so then there's another door.
Well, if it's Ben Affleck
created.
based, we all know it ends with him becoming Batman. So
that's true. Always comes back.
Comes back to Batman.
But yeah,
so I thought well, that's interesting. But then I feel like, gosh, there's so many of us, and they would only be very temporary too. Because, like, let's say you get to a cliff, right, and you decide to not jump off the cliff, but there was a version of you that did decide to jump off the cliff. Well, it's a very short lifespan, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I get the idea of it, but the working theory of it doesn't fit for me. I don't know. Okay, so here's another one. This one I do like. This one I get.
What if it creates what if each decision actually created a whole different dimension?
Like, okay, so fair.
Essentially,
so if the decision maybe to jump off, you did, but maybe you found a way to survive. Like maybe you were going to jump off, but then something intervened. So now you're stuck living a life where you had that decision and you're stuck with the weight of that decision. Even though you've survived, maybe you didn't actually get to go through with it, but now you're living a whole different type of reality.
Right. So there's a whole different dimension. So like you have multiple different dimensions based on each individual, I guess, decision you have to make.
I just want to know, what are the dimensions of like a double D? That's no, I'm kidding. Okay. So, all right. So the next one is the bleed through theory. Okay. Chris is like, why am I in this? Like, how did I even?
No, I'm enjoying it. I like it.
Katie, I take it you didn't warn him.
Listen,
sometimes I warn people, sometimes I don't.
We've had dinner before, so I'm used to it. I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Chris well enough that he's going to roll with the punches.
I am a comedian,
so he's cool.
First and foremost, but we do have a show, Pair with the Normal. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it, but
I have.
weird.
Yeah, after we spoke last time.
Yes, and I'm an idiot. You know that, right? Yeah. So, all right. So the next one is called the bleed through theory. When two timelines overlap, you feel it as if it was deja vu, wrong memories, nostalgia for places you've never been. Okay. Dreams that feel like lives. So that could be those two realities kind of blending for just a brief moment. Right? So when you have that deja vu, maybe it's not the fact that you've seen it before, but maybe it's the fact that your reality has. The other reality has.
But that almost ties it in with reincarnation as well. So it's kind of blends there.
Right, but you're talking about it happening at the exact same time.
Yeah.
So it's not so much a reincarnation. It's not like you've done it before. It's literally you're doing it
at the
same time.
Right.
Right. Because
that kind of sounds like time sleep. Everyone's heard of the time slip theory. It's kind of the same thing where these two
like when
events
you forget
are
to
happening.
pay a traffic stop.
Yes.
Right.
That's exactly what a time slip is.
It's almost like the Mandela effect.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Which Shazam is real, okay? There is no Mandela effect on the Shazam. I've seen it. I've seen it with my eyes.
All right, Bearstein Bear or Bearstein Bear?
Berenstein, isn't it? Berenstein? Or is it Berenstein?
Berenstein.
Bears. I had the books. They had the little gold leaf on the side. I remember. And I had the book of Little Pokey. Okay, I had that or that book. Okay, I remember that one. Little Pokey Goes to Prison. I had that book, or whatever wherever he went.
Look it up and see if it's the same one you remember.
Yes, hey, Bobby. But but I did see. I've interviewed Sinbad, so I can tell you that Shazam was real. Okay, but I really like the bleed through theory. So let's get on to number 3.
Oh my God, we're only at number 3.
The unfinished business theory. Okay, these are interesting because we also don't know how they could play into the paranormal, right? Because we could be visiting ghosts that may not even be from our own reality. They could be stuck from a reality that's not their own because they have no idea on how to get back. Therefore, if it's not their reality, they cannot move on. What if that is the case? What if they come from an alternate reality, accidentally get stuck in ours? Guess what? They can't go to heaven. They can't go to hell because it's not part of where they're from. It's not part of their reality. There is no reincarnation.
So they're stuck in.
I don't know.
That's pretty wild, though, when you think about it.
I don't know if I buy into that one because I think MaryLynn and I might be on the
couldn't it
same
be?
page about this one. I don't know. I feel like if you're a free floating spirit without the meat suit, you can do whatever the hell you want. You can go anywhere, travel anywhere, go to any universe. So you're not
assuming that you
stuck
automatically have the ability to know that you're powerful and what to do with it.
And that's where I think people have to learn.
It's no different than the computer you have right now saying, okay, go ahead and use this computer to create a program. We all have everything on this computer to make it happen, but not one of us is going to fucking be able to do it. Right?
Unless you have AI.
And here you are dead. Is there an AI? Hey, Siri, bring me back to life, please.
You may have something that's helping to guide you along the way.
Maybe, but what if you slip between the cracks, right? It happens right now. It happens right now in real life. People slip between cracks. They get stuck in catch-22s. Who's to say the same thing couldn't happen to somebody who passes away? The right time, wrong time, wrong place, wrong reality, right? So here's another one called the unfinished business theory. Ever think of someone randomly? Okay. Dream about people you don't talk to anymore. Feel connected to someone that's not there. In another universe, your story with them never ended.
Yep. So
That's
you're
interesting.
feeling that connection. So, but that would be the question is, so are you going to be able to feel the other person that's out there? Is that where you're kind of sharing those memories?
And when you pass, who's to say that all of a sudden all these realities don't come flooding back to you and confuse you and scare you? And you decide, I don't want any part of it. I'm going to stay right where I am because I'm lost.
Chris, has that ever happened to you? Have you had dreams about people who
Chris
are
looks confused right now.
So
dreams about people you're not in your life anymore, or
so obviously with me, I feel like I'm in the wrong era. I feel like I should be in like 1920s era. Like I'm more attracted to that. Like I feel more like I belong there. And there's times where I talk about things that I have like me personally, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but all these explanations here, all these explanations are coming up, and I'm explaining things that I've never even dealt with, don't even know anything about, have never even seen it, and somehow I know it. I know everything about it, and I can explain it.
You have mob connections.
I have what?
Mob connections in your past lives.
And I feel that.
If you're talking about the 20s, 30s, then absolutely, right? Because that was a big deal back then, especially during the Prohibition.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
And he's from Jersey.
And you're from Jersey. My family, my last name is Gagliano. My entire family is all mob connected.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We opened casinos.
I like it. Make some money.
But what if you're from a reality where the 20s never stopped?
Yeah. And that's what I feel. I feel like I'm in the wrong era. Like I feel like even being here now, I feel like I'm in the wrong era. I'm still in like the whole mentality of wanting to wear a suit, like wanting to wear like a nice tie, like you know what I mean? Like that's the mentality that I think about all the time.
So you feel like you don't belong.
Right. Yeah. And that's every day.
He's like me. You don't feel like a catheter belongs in your wiener. It's weird.
No. Well, you have to be able to identify it first, but
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, this isn't me.
So,
you know?
Yeah.
So if you belong to the 20s, Chris, and that's where you feel comfortable and that's an era you're drawn to, then why are you here in this era? What have you thought about that? Like you're more drawn to that time period of 100 years ago. So why are you here now then?
And that's a question. I have
two theories.
Try to research it. I try to research and I try to see why, and it goes back to that whole reincarnation theory, like being born again, like leaving your old body and being born into a whole new body.
Right, which is actually.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, MaryLynn. This is way more your alley.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I'm feeling like it was more of a reincarnation thing. You had some stuff going on in your past life that you did not complete, and you feel like you need to do that now, but you just don't know what it is. So that's why you're so drawn to that time frame, is because you still have that hanging over you.
Right.
And it's also possible that, we always think of the fact that when we pass, we go and get a new body.
Yeah.
But we also have to, we have to keep into mind that time doesn't move like it does when we have a body, right? When we have a meat puppet, right, the second we're born, you don't start really counting the hours until time is running out, right? But when you don't have that anymore, time can completely move differently. So maybe you just took time to reflect. Man, I was so comfortable in that life. I really loved it. There were parts that, damn it, I wish I could have fixed. I wish Johnny, I wish I could have told Johnny what was going to happen to him, but I didn't get a chance to tell Johnny. And then next thing you know, you're like, you know what? It's time for me to go back. And by the time you pop back in, it's 1987 or however old you are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and then that's
fuck me.
The reincarnation too, and that's where we're talking about the animals earlier. So when you reincarnate, I think that a lot of times people reincarnate as an animal if they've abused animals or something like that. So they have to live through that to see how that animal really feels with what they're doing to them or what they've done to them. So it's and lessons learned.
To me, that's also not only is that reincarnation, but it's also somebody deciding to take on their own ethics.
Yes.
Right? They're trying to, instead of justifying, they're punishing.
They're trying to fix themselves by living that life.
And then you get somebody like John Wayne Gacy, who we talked about earlier, or, Jeffrey Dahmer. They may decide, I don't ever want to go back. Because there's no way it ends well for somebody like that. So they're stuck.
No, because he's got things waiting for him on the other side.
Oh, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? So
So there you go, Chris. You had some mob ties. Maybe you put some people in the bottom of the river.
I feel like there was
something like
there
that.
was a love interest that you had back then that you did not get to connect with. So that's one reason why you keep wanting to go back as well.
It was with me.
Aww.
I'm a little hurt.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Yeah. But, also, it's funny because there's a good chance that if we continue to come back from bodies, the chance that you come back as a male is only 50-50, right? So there's a good chance that the idea or the act of being gay, not to say that that's a problem, it's not, but it could be that the fact that maybe the last 4 lives you lived prior, you were a female, and then all of a sudden you come back as a male. That's a hard pill to swallow, right? That's why I've got nothing. I've never had anything against anybody that decides, hey, I'm a woman who likes women, or I'm a guy who likes guys, or what. I get it. I mean, to me, as somebody that's into the paranormal, it kind of makes sense. I'm like, dude, just do your best to figure out what comes next.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that, because I mean, there's certain people that I've met that are like actual like gay, not like just wanting to be gay. If that makes any sense.
Sure, yeah.
And that's one of the things they say. They feel like that's not their body. They feel like that's they're They were born in the wrong body.
Right.
That's usually one of the sentences that they tend to say.
And that's
not
where
that
it's not that
wrong with
gender
but,
is a construct. I think your spirituality is.
Yes.
right.
Right. Which is pretty different. It's interesting. But a side note, because you're so big into like the 20s, 30s, did you ever read any of the Dick Tracy comic books?
I have not. No.
I would be interested to have you read some and see what you thought.
Yep.
I'll tell you a funny story. I went St. Albans. Have you guys been there? St. Albans Sanatorium
Mm-mm.
in Virginia.
In Virginia.
No,
So-
but I have been to a porta potty.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So
Okay.
you'll definitely understand this.
Okay, perfect.
So the first time I ever went there, I started having stuff happening in my house. It sounded like we started getting like Native American sounds in the attic, which was crazy. It was almost like Native American war sounds.
Oh,
It was me and another gentleman that used to investigate with me, and we ended up getting there. That same day we got there, the lady that ran the place actually pulled us aside. Was like, "Hey, listen, Destination Fear. That's from Destination Fear was out. They said that the guys from Destination Fear were here and they captured this." Well, long story short, I ended up parking in the back. Have you ever been there? There's a back parking lot. There's a front parking lot. Everybody parks in the front because it's closer to the doors. Well, for whatever reason, I wanted to park in the back. So I parked in
not
the back.
because you're black.
No, not at all.
Right.
So
We're
I
not
parked in the
racist
back
here, folks.
and walked up. Well, long story short, where they captured his Native American sound was right in the same area where I parked. I had no idea that had happened, and we had gotten the Native American sounds at the house prior to going there. And when she played the audio, it was the same sound that we heard in my attic, which was right before we went to the location. Long story short, we were there for 3 days and 3 nights.
Wow.
The first night that I was there, I went back to the hotel, and as soon as I went to sleep, it was almost like I was living time back to when that place was actually ran. Like I can see the doctors, I can see the old cars outside. It was almost like it was replaying back in the movie. It was probably like one of the coolest experiences I think I had, because when I went back there the next day, just having the ability to go back there the next day, I actually wrote down what I had in my dream, what I seen in my dreams. And I paid attention to certain different things that I knew were in the room that I saw like in the dream, but I didn't realize in real life that they were there. So I went back there the next day to actually take a look at the different little tiny details. And some of the things that I saw in my dream were there at that time.
That's
like
pretty
after
wild.
going back. It was cool. It was like,
It's almost like a dream remote viewing hybrid experience. Like you were seeing things in your dream that you didn't see when you were physically there.
So I
Right,
get
and
that a lot of times, and it's almost like the spirits are trying to give you that message before you get there. So they're putting that in your mind so that way you see it.
yeah. So that happens a lot. Like with me prior to going to investigations, and it all started like I went through a lot of things when I was. So when I was with the kid's mom, we ended up splitting up, and it was a big ordeal. And I was out of work for about a year and a half. So I was spending a lot of time by
Are you
myself. at
single
the
right
house.
now?
No, I have a girlfriend right now.
Oh, never mind, Katie.
Okay.
Continue.
So I was spending a lot of time by myself at the house. And one of the experiences I had in my property, which I didn't realize had ties to Native Americans, was actually like a Native American male chief with the whole chief hat and everything walking up. And at first I had a German Shepherd at the time, and I had 15 acres to the back of the house, and I came back from fishing. I was cleaning the boat outside. And at first I thought my dog had gotten out. It was black and white, or not black and white, tan and white German Shepherd. He was in the woods. Like, the dog's name is Trigger. I was like, why is Trigger outside? So I'm yelling at the dog to tell him to come back. And I went back to cleaning the boat, not paying any mind to it. I thought it was just the dog being out. Well, long story short, as the dog's walking back, it became this person, and then this person turned around and walked away, and it became the dog again. Well, ever since then, my buddy, who I was really good friends with, he has since passed. He was the Native American tribe. He was in the tribe in this area. So he had a lot of knowledge to a lot of things that were Native American traditions. And he said, hey, listen, like, this is very rare. You don't get to see this. This is almost like a gift. Like, you need to plant something on the property, you need to give it something, just acknowledging that you saw it. And so, long story short, I ended up going to Home Depot. I got free some sort of fruit tree. I can't remember what it was, and I planted it on the
That's
property.
super weird, but okay.
Yeah. So I planted it on the property, and ever since that day, I've had. Anytime I go to investigations, I hear things before. And since I planted that, I've had a bald eagle and a red-tailed hawk that always fly around me as I'm going to an investigation, which is why I actually ended up getting a bald eagle tattooed on my chest. But anywhere I go, I see them, which is pretty cool.
You have a bald eagle tattooed to your chest?
Yeah, I do.
That's dope. I have no tattoos. I need to get one. I need to.
I got them all over. See?
You do? So, okay, so we're at an hour and 5 minutes. If people want to end, we can. If you want to continue, I'm okay continuing.
Up to you guys.
Whatever y'all.
It's your call.
I'm good. Yeah.
Are you good?
I'm good.
We're going to keep rolling because what you're talking about is really interesting because it kind of ties in to the fourth theory.
Oh my God, were we already at 4 like a half hour ago?
We're only at 3. So the fourth one is called the wrong room theory, and this is why it kind of fits. It's when you walk into a place and everything feels off, everything feels different, right? Colors seem weird, time feels different, vibes. Oh, we lost him.
We lost him.
He
You
said,
bored
"Fuck
him.
y'all." Oh, there he is. He's
No,
back.
I'm back. It just clicked off for whatever reason.
So, because the vibes were wrong. That's why. But they think that maybe you accidentally stepped into the wrong universe for a second. So it's quite possible, like you're saying, what if the Native Americans, what if the Americans never came? What if the Native Americans continue to live there? And you just happened to be there at the right place, right time, and you experience exactly what they're going through, and they noticed. So what if it isn't so much the past as it's what they're experiencing right now?
That's true, and I thought about that. Believe it or not, I've thought exactly about that same theory you're talking about.
How crazy is that, folks? I mean, dude, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Right? But that's the whole reason why we do the paranormal, right?
Yeah, and it's things like that you can't explain. Like even with that story I just told you guys, I don't tell anybody that. There's only
which is intense.
You guys are probably like the 5th person I think I've ever told. But it's how do you explain that to somebody like, and they don't look at you like you're crazy?
So have you connected with your spirit guides?
So yes and no. I know I have them, and I'm pretty sure I have more than one. There's not just one. I've been involved in a lot
3 that are with you.
Okay.
So how many of them have Down syndrome?
None of them have Down syndrome.
What?
You never know. I was just asking.
Just me.
But one of your guides is the Native American, so that's why he was showing himself to you.
Okay. Yeah. So I know I have more than one. And I do feel like an actual like Native American connection, but I'm also like originally I'm from Puerto Rico, so we have a Native American connection there.
Heritage, right?
Which is which is like the Taino Indians. But I've been involved with so many things, even at work and off work, that I mean for the most of it, like Mike, like I shouldn't even be here. Like I ended up crashing a bike doing 60 miles per hour on a motorcycle. I got up, walked away from it. Only had one little scratch, and I still have it. I actually covered it up with a tattoo. There was a little scratch right here. 60 miles per hour on a motorcycle. You fall off, spin a couple times on the road, and still fine.
And that's what's so wild, dude. Like, at what point do you say maybe the angels do exist?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Something was watching out for you. Someone was watching out for me. I'm supposed to be dead. You're going 60 miles an hour, dude. You're supposed to be dead.
Exactly. Especially on a motorcycle.
Yeah. But somehow, somebody, someone, some entity said, we're not done with you yet.
Right.
Do you have something else to either prove or do you have more time to find why you're worthy for us to have put you here in the first place? Because who's to say, right? Because nobody really knows. And that's the beauty of the paranormal is the fact that we don't know. Because if we did, it would probably scare the absolute shit out of us. But the fact that nobody knows why we're actually here, maybe it is a test. Maybe it is just a chance to prove your worth. And that's what I feel. I feel our whole goal is to prove why we're worthy of taking up somebody else's space. You know what I mean? Mike is here now, but for all I know, some dude named John could have taken this body. I took this body, right? Chris is in that body now, but maybe Chris wasn't the only person that was trying to get that body. Chris, you have 77 years on average to prove why you're meant to be here. Same with all of us, right? Why you're meant to be in that body. You got 2 kids now. Not only is the responsibility of that body on you, it's not on the responsibility of the 2 kids you've decided to have.
Right.
I have no kids. Suck on that, Chris. Okay? But you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear it. It's just, I don't know. It makes you think that the more you try to get answers for, the more questions you have. There's no precise answer for anything, and anybody says they have answers, it's I don't know how, because
They have beliefs. I think they have beliefs.
Right.
They don't have the answer.
Yeah.
And MaryLynn will say, I've said this before, but the people that believe, they believe because they don't want to know.
Right.
Right? And the people that say they know do so because they don't want to believe. Right? This is the same thing with religion. Religion is based off of a belief, right? Yeah. You believe because you don't want to know. And science is based off of knowledge. Science is saying you want to know, but you do not want to believe. What comes next? But the reality is the answer lies somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
It probably has something to do with the slap hand. We don't know.
Yeah.
I sometimes envy. I sometimes envy the people who don't believe, who are skeptics, who just believe we're born, we live in a meat suit for 77 years, and we die, and that's it. I envy those people sometimes because life for them is just so simple, right?
Yeah.
You're born, you live, you die.
My dad was that way.
It's boring, and I know your dad was like that, and here the 4 of us are sitting around, and we're like, it can be frustrating when you don't get those answers, and when you do that exploration, and we spend our whole lives finding answers, and we'll die never having all those answers. Meanwhile, we have these skeptics and people who are just like, whatever, I'm just going to die, and that's it. I'm going to be a pile of worms.
But somebody like my dad dying, believing that nothing is left, who does that affect? The people around it. Mm-hmm. The people around me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because now here I am, somebody that he raised, or didn't raise, but I came right from his nutsack. Okay? Is that what I have to look forward to? Did I spend all this time and effort for nothing? Do I get nothing after this? Right? Is there no reward? Is there no karmic justice? Can I be as evil? Can I be as good as I decide I want to be? Because it doesn't matter. And I guarantee you, anybody that's on this right now watching this is going to say there's no way that's the case. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
But none of you know. But you all believe that what I'm telling you is right. Right? So there's got to be something in the middle.
Yeah, there's got to be a purpose to it all. You know what I mean? There's got to be a purpose to why we're here. What
I love.
I don't know. I mean,
they can jump through the water.
Clap.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, no, there's definitely a purpose out there. I mean, in my opinion, I think we all have a purpose, and I think we're here until that purpose is met. Which I don't know what that would be, but
nobody has a bigger opinion than MaryLynn. Go ahead.
About what?
your massive opinion on this.
On what? I'm sorry, I was
All of it.
reading comments.
Well, shit.
She tapped out.
I
Yeah.
did tap out.
Right.
I've had too many shots.
Off to Katie.
You lost your after nutsack.
That's probably what it was. I get it.
Did.
I just wish, like, with like the whole nutsack thing, I wish I could tell like how old I was based on the amount of wrinkles. You know,
Like a fucking tree. You look at your
Yeah,
rings and see how
because
old
that
you
would
are.
make it a lot easier. Because sometimes I forget that I'm old, right? But then I look at my wiener and I go, oh my god, I got all these wrinkles on my penis, right? So obviously I'm getting older, right? So it would be great to be able to count them, you know, like rings of a tree, only without cutting it off. Obviously, no, thank you, Ashley Babbitt. Okay, but continue, Katie. You have so many ideas. I could tell.
I do. What?
They're
No,
swirling around.
No, I agree with Chris, and I agree with you two will probably say the same. Everyone in the chat will say the same thing. We're here for a reason, and our purpose on earth is to find out what that reason is and to live it out and to do it. If not, then you're gonna be damned to do it all over again. That's just my personal belief.
You actually bring up a great point, though. What if your purpose is actually not beneficial? It's nefarious.
That's true. I mean,
And what if your purpose is like you have to perform something nefarious? He's like, that is your purpose.
I mean, that goes back to Chris's, his possible past life as a mobster. Maybe in that past life, he was meant to do something nefarious, and now
Well-
he's being reborn in this life to be a good version of Chris.
That's interesting too, because I'll bring this up. For example, let's take the Prohibition. A lot of the mobsters during the Prohibition were created out of necessity, not so much out of being nefarious. They were trying to find people an outlet. So they thought they were doing the right thing. Right? Now, obviously, well, fuck that guy too. No, here, he's come back. He's come back. But as the Prohibition ended, obviously a lot of mobsters continued along that path line, right? So, and at that point, it could have been less of a necessity and more of greed, I guess. But you got a great point, like Dahmer. We brought up John Wayne Gacy, right? The Green River Killer. Even people in movies like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. What if that person is born out of necessity? They have to do those things. They have to. So if that's the case, and they were created to have to do those things, and they decide to do those things, do they then get to go to heaven?
If you think about it too, like when you're dealing with people like that, like especially like serial killers and people who enjoy to kill,
I'm a big fan of Lucky Charms.
Listen, they're they're missing that portion of their brain where it's like they can't tell what's right and wrong. In their mind, what they're doing is right. So it goes back to the theory you're talking about. Like they don't have that mentality or that wherethought of being able to differentiate between good and bad.
True, Crystal. Well, a great example of that, actually, what you're talking about is actually John Wayne Gacy. Because if you watch some of the interviews, he talks about, the people he killed as literally nothing more than an object.
Yep.
Right? So is having an object, creating an object, is that in itself evil, or is he just following along with his ordained path?
Yeah, it's almost like they're missing that portion of their brain where it's just like where us would be like, no, that's wrong. I don't know. That's a good theory though.
If God came to you right now and said, Chris, you've been so great and I love you. You're an awesome dude. You've done so good. But here's the deal, man. I need you to go kill like 20 people. I need you to sow fear, because without fear, what are they to fear? I need you to do this for me. So at which point you go, oh my God, I got to do this. So you go off and you kill a bunch of people and you eat them, or I don't know, you pee on their kneecaps or whatever it is. Does that make you a bad person? Do you go to hell?
Because
Will
he
you
didn't do
manipulate?
it of his own free will, right?
Right.
He was forced to do it. Okay.
Right.
But then again, is that God? Is that devil? Is that something else entirely? Right?
There's a Bible
Yeah.
story like that, right? I don't know the characters. It's
It's
part of the Old
called
Testament.
the Bible. Okay.
The Bible, sorry.
Yeah. This lady.
I know.
But I'm just bringing that up as a point of reference in saying that, we as people decide what is evil, but as a human nature, right? We decide what is ethical and what isn't based off of our human basis. But what about a spiritual basis? Right? Where
Well,
does
that's
that
how
take
you-
place?
That's how you get the copycat killers. That's how you get
It's true.
a lot of these terror
And-
attacks. Terror
And what
attacks
points it
are
in mental illness, right? Yeah.
right.
That's true.
Yeah, a lot of these attacks are based on their beliefs, like their belief system. Like
Yeah.
So some of the attacks. I mean, if you see some of the things that some of the people that actually do it, and they believe that they're going back to what their 12 virgins, that they end up dying, or however many virgins it is that they're supposed to have once
Yeah.
they complete their mission and they die.
It's just 12 dudes in front of the computer. It's awful.
Yeah, it's like Omegle bases all over again.
I gotta bang Larry. Dang it.
Oh,
It's
Carl
awful.
again?
Yeah. Ugh.
But that does bring up the point is like, where you grow up and what your teachings are, is that's going to kind of lead your, your belief system and how you react.
Reader. Go ahead, order whatever you want. Just add me in.
Me too.
Yeah.
Dinner for five.
Oh,
Sorry,
kidding.
my bad. I don't want to
No.
stop because we're just having so much fun. So
I
if
know,
you
I
guys
guess.
decide you want to stop, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just gonna
No.
keep going.
I like
Chris
talking
has
about
got
these.
kids, so
They're in bed by now. They're good.
all right. And you still have your vodka, right? There we have it. We're good.
It's a
Good,
party,
we're good.
folks. It's a party.
Yes. Oh, okay. On that, but I will say this: people that do not know, Katie is kind of a big deal in the human resource world. Okay, she spends literally hours trying to figure out who and how she's going to fire someone.
Oh, yeah. I had to fire somebody Monday.
So do you need to go, or are you good?
No, I already did it.
Oh, you already did the firing. Okay, well, that's
did the
great.
firing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Nice. And me
They're
and MaryLynn
gone.
were retarded. I mean, retired. So we're good. Yeah. But you're a police officer.
I am. Yes.
Do you think this is interesting because there's a chance that you were mob related, right? In the 20s. Do you think you're a police officer based off of the fact that you fucked around and found out in the 20s and you're trying to correct that? Or hold on now, I'm gonna really throw this out. Do you think you were part of like a stinger? You were always an undercover cop, even in the 20s.
Yeah, I
Working
don't
for the
know,
mob.
man.
That's a good one to explore. I like that you were
Right?
a mobster in a past life.
Yes.
And so you are now reincarnated to atone for your sins, so to speak.
Yep.
Right. And so now you're a cop and you're upholding justice and all that. That's interesting, Chris. You might want to explore that.
So
Right?
you guys want to hear something funny? So a lot of the investigations that I
Yes.
go to that are based on that are based on like jails and penitentiaries. Anytime that we're using a spirit box or any sort of communication device, we'll always get the police aspect of it. And a lot of times they'll refer to me as the officer or as the cop, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like, how do I do that? Like, how? It's not something I really talk about. It's something that I keep to myself.
Well, you have a persona though, because that just kind of it just goes off of you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
That
try
is
to hide it.
interesting,
Can you
though.
tell?
that is an interesting theory. I don't think about that because it's not like I'm going to walk into a jail and they're going to be like, hey, there's the girl that does this for a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
But the fact that Chris can walk into a jail and they're immediately like, oh, here comes the fuzz, look out,
Well, it's
So
the way you carry yourself, and that's like people
Sure.
even in the military, how they walk. You can always tell somebody, kind of what their profession is in those lines.
Sure.
I can always tell when somebody's paralyzed and they're trying to walk.
That's true.
So I get it. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But here's the other thing too, because if you're talking about the 20s, like he's from New Jersey, but that doesn't actually mean that New York, New Jersey is where he's from. A big place that took part during the 20s and 30s was actually Chicago, Milwaukee.
Mm.
So you may not actually be from New York as a whole, right? You could be literally from an entire part, or even Cleveland. Cleveland was really big during that time. I would recommend, if you haven't seen it, there's a movie called Welcome to Collinwood, which takes place, I think, in the 60s. It is the timeline, but it was filmed like, you think, in 2000 or something like that. But it's a comedy, but it's a very dry comedy. But there is a investigator involved, so you might enjoy that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, Welcome to Collinwood. Check that out. But the reason why I bring that up is my grandfather, who came, my entire family, the Gagliano family.
Look at Chris Googling it right now.
I am looking. I'm trying to look it up.
Yeah. I know. I got you. I know.
My entire family came over from Sicily, from Palermo, Sicily in 1913. My grandfather married his high school sweetheart at the age of 17. Okay. That was in Milwaukee. Now they came in to New York, continued to move, wound up in Steubenville, Illinois, and then eventually wound up in Milwaukee. Okay. Upon that, he himself moved over to Chicago, where he would actually play pool. He was a pool shark. So during the Depression, he would lose, bet a bunch of money, and then win at pool, right? That was like his way to reel in cash. He accidentally got this guy by the name of Eddie Cellini. Eddie Cellini worked for the mob. Eddie Cellini told him that, hey, you're in the wrong business. Let me show you what I do. Eddie Cellini introduced him to running books. That's how he started. Okay. He started by running books out of Chicago just for bookies. He was actually chased out of a second-story window by Elliot Ness. It's a true story. Afterwards, my grandfather got into actually learning about the games, the dice, roulette, poker, and eventually wound up opening casinos for the mob in the 50s. Because he worked with them so long and he just showed interest. So you never know where you're going to come from. But a lot of the times, a lot of the issues are either New York, New Jersey, or Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Chicago, Ohio, that whole area, right, is where a lot of the Italians wound up going because the Irish wouldn't let them stay in New York.
That's right.
Are you Italian?
No, I'm actually Puerto Rican. Everybody thinks I'm Italian.
Oh, okay.
So
well, ironically, it was the Italians, in fact, the Eddie Cellini and my father, Theodore Salvador Gagliano, who opened all the casinos in Cuba and the Southern Islands, including the Bahamas. Yes. So there's a good chance you may actually have some ties to Chicago.
Yeah, so I did my DNA, and my DNA comes back pretty big majority of European.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Okay.
We ironically it's funny because let's see here. I'll show this to you guys. And then you end up in Vegas. So my grandfather wound up moving to Vegas in like the 60s to retire. He actually came here to end his career. But he still opened up the Thunderbird, the Golden Bridge or something along that line. The California, that's what it was called. And he opened up the Stardust and the Palace Station. But at the time, it wasn't called the Palace Station. The Palace Station at the time was actually called the Bingo Palace. And it was off the strip because the FBI was so involved in all of the comings and goings of the mob on the strip, they had to find a different way to launder money. So they moved off the strip.
Off the strip.
And that is actually why they continued to create casinos. It wasn't because they were trying to get people to gamble. They needed to be able to move money to make it legal.
To wash that money out.
Yeah. Pretty wild, right?
It's interesting. It leads back to like a whole, but it also leads into a whole different mentality of things. So like I'm a big psychology guy. I like studying people, like and especially crime. Like how is crime committed? Why is it committed? It's almost like that whole open window theory where like if you have never stole anything in your life and you walk past a car and it's got the keys and pretty much wad of cash in the driver's seat with the open window, what are you gonna do? You're gonna reach in, grab it because it's easy. It's there. You're just gonna grab it and walk away.
Yeah.
Even people that don't steal would have that mentality or even think about it because that opportunity presented itself and it's so easy that they can do it. So going back into that theory goes back to also people who don't have money, who don't have and can't really find a way to live. This is their means and ways of living. This is how they make their living.
And
so
this is the other interesting thing when you get to people that commit crimes. I really feel like there's two different types. Okay. My grandfather, for example, obviously committed crimes because his whole job was to help the mob launder money. He was never busted. Never. And they literally kept FBI outside of my house every day. Right? But they could never prove it. However, you also get people that commit crimes that do so because they want attention. Some people commit crimes because they want the attention. And a lot of times criminals always get caught because they want the attention. They want to be caught. They want to show you what they've accomplished, right? You know that as a police officer.
Yeah, of course. And they also want to be recognized for what they've done.
Right. Exactly. They're like, oh, yeah, I did. You know what? I did that.
It goes back to what they call the celebrated cases. Celebrated cases are cases that gain a lot of attention. They gain
Jeffrey Dahmer is a prime example of that.
Right. Gain a lot of media off of it. Right in the town that I currently live in, this is where...
what up, Brandon?
The guy that killed Versace, what was his name? Michael Kinanen, I want to say. Was it Kinanen? His last name?
Michael Shenanigan.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, 15 minutes down the street from my house is the actual cemetery where he committed his first murder to start his killing spree.
Wow.
And where he actually stole the groundskeeper's truck from this town. Actually, like I said, 15 minutes down the road. Not even. Stole his truck and drove all the way to Florida to kill Versace. And that's where he killed him.
And here's the other interesting thing, because we talked about realities a little bit, parallel realities. What if for that split second, like people will say, like you hear people, oh, he was totally fine. He was normal. We never had any idea he would do this. What if like parallel you, right? Because we talked about like there's that opportunity that you make the wrong decision and that person exists. What if wrong decision, Mike or whatever his name was, is who winds up inhabiting that body just briefly long enough to cause this entire chaos?
Yeah.
It's wild, right?
I mean, you think about it. It makes you think, makes you open your mind.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Opening your mind is a lot better than opening your butthole.
Well, I can't testify to that one, so.
Well, I can. Okay. Aliens be damned. Okay.
Doesn't that kind of sometimes go back to the theory? Because I was always taught.
A Zodiac killer wanted attention. You're absolutely right, Crystal.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to. A lot of them want to get caught.
Yep. And Brandon says Jeffrey wrote a cookbook called Dinner with Friends, right? Like sometimes you're asking for that attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
The law of, I forget what the law is, but how there's always, there's good and bad, light and dark, good and evil, right?
Yeah.
And so you always need that balance.
Yeah.
And so if we were to eliminate all the serial killers, and if we were to eliminate all the negativity in the world, we'd be left with all positivity. And would that be bad too? If we have nothing but love and light all the time, everywhere in the world, every universe, and there's no negativity, there's no war, there's no destruction, what would that do? What would that look like?
It
That
would be
shows you the
boring as
beauty
hell.
of balance.
It would be off balance. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It truly would be, because the reality is, even if those wars were gone, we would still, no matter, even if those no longer existed, we would always still look at ethics on a scale.
Yeah.
Right? So even it could just be you literally just spit on the floor, you would find a way to follow yourself to the drag of society.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, if spitting on the floor is enough to literally, some people say, well, shit, you're going to hell. Right? At what point do we go, okay, well, where did we cross this line?
Yeah.
So in a way, these people that do those things, it's sad to say that I'm not saying that they're necessary, but maybe they are intrinsic into allowing us to see the difference between right and wrong.
And not only that, they're keeping Chris employed.
Yeah.
True. Job security is a must.
You're right.
He's got 2 kids. Yeah.
So, Kate, talking about like what you were just talking about, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a show. I was trying to think of the name. I looked it up. It's called Pluribus. I can't say it in Spanish.
Pluribus?
Pluribus. Yes.
I know the word, but I've never seen this show.
No, I've heard of it, but yeah, I haven't seen it.
So not to give you much of it, it really just comes down to people being able to communicate, almost like how ants communicate through like their mind. They're able to talk to one another, and they all live together with no issues, no problems. There's no negativity. Anything that anybody needs, they all work as one.
Right. Interesting.
Which is
The collective.
very interesting. So right,
Yeah.
and there's like no crime, no nothing, because they all take care of each other. But it goes back to what you were talking about, which what if there was a world with no crime and no issues?
Right.
Ironically, that world exists. And we don't even realize it. Oh, to be fair, it's kind of taken on a weird change. But if you go back to the Gene Roddenberry time, Star Trek, right? Because the Federation is basically built on the fact that they struggled through all those trial and tribulations, were met by the Vulcans, who introduced them to a whole new way of life, whole new types of energy, whole new types of space travel. And then next thing you know, money became irrelevant, crime became irrelevant, and they found a way to coexist. Only now they're out trying to find solutions to problems that belong to other creatures, right? Which is interesting because it shows you that even if everything was hunky-dory A-okay here, we still need that drama.
Go looking
we still
for
need
it.
to find a way to continue on to solve something. Scooby-Doo was right.
Yeah, it's like MaryLynn said, it would be a boring world if we didn't have. And so, yeah, eventually humans might get. And Chris, I'll Google and watch that show because I'll be curious to see
Pluribus, yeah.
how it ends or whatever. But it at one point, do you get so bored with that perfect life where you're just like, fuck it, I'm going to just create some drama and some chaos just for
You got to
something
go do something. Yeah.
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 Have you seen the show The Expanse?
No.
It's on Amazon. I highly recommend it for anybody that's watching. The Expanse is a science fiction show, okay, that is based on, I think, like 500 years in the future, where the Earth no longer also inhabits both the Moon, Mars, and an asteroid in the Kuiper Belt, right? And then they wind up losing Mars to a civil war, and they wind up creating other stations and what have you. Well, the whole expanse is built on an actual alien technology, or an alien suddenly involves itself, and how it just creates this sudden upheaval in what they think, how they think, and what's supposed to come next. But it's a good idea to show you that despite the fact that everything could be going as well as it could be, you as a human, or you as a being, will always try to find a way to fix a wrong. Right? We will always find a way to involve ourselves in something we probably shouldn't be involved in because we feel we have no choice. We need it.
Yeah.
Right? How many times as you as an officer, some bystanders stepped in and be like, huh, yeah, let me tell you what I saw. You'll never believe this. Okay? Yeah, let me give you my whole statement. Because they feel they have that need to be involved.
Yeah, that or hey, so I heard you're a cop, and I wanted to tell you this funny story.
Yes.
And they go back to like it happens everywhere. You know, it's same thing with a motorcycle. When I had my motorcycle, when I first bought it, I was like, oh man, this thing is a chick magnet. I'm gonna be like, you know, having fun with this thing and blah blah blah. And the more thing you attract,
Other
you
men.
attract God. Yeah, exactly. They come up to you like, hey man, nice bike, man. It's the complete opposite of what you think.
Had the opposite effect.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's true. It at some point we're compelled to find solutions, right? And maybe that's part of what being worthy of this life is, right? Is trying to find solutions to why we're here, and solutions to why other people shouldn't be. And maybe some people get their wires crossed. And that's how you wind up with people like Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, because they feel like they get to decide who should be here.
Or that's their purpose.
Or porpoise. They like dolphins. You don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Well, with that, folks, should we play
That's
us
funny.
out?
Yeah. Chris, tell everybody though, give Chris a minute to give
Yes.
himself a shout out. Where can people find you, look you up, research you, find your
Sure.
content?
So right now it's all social media is Supernatural Untold Stories. On TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. A lot of my new videos and new content that I'm actually putting on right now actually goes on to the Signal Network on YouTube with Scotty the Medium. So I've been doing a lot of things with him now. And yeah, it's pretty much if you guys want to watch any content or anything like that, that's where it'll be on for now.
Can
and
we
then
expect you at any type of Paracon, like Booze on the Battleship 2?
I will actually be at the Creep It Real Festival in June.
Well, nobody
And,
cares about that one.
that's
Anything
right.
else?
Yeah.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Will you be at Booze on the Battleship?
I will not. No, I'm actually
What
away.
the fuck?
I know.
He's away that weekend.
Listen, I would have loved to go. Last year was fun. I would have loved to make it happen again, but I'm actually away that weekend.
I thought we were homies.
We are. We're just gonna have to do something else.
Wow.
Have to make it something different.
Okay. Well, okay. What about Cajun Country? That's in April.
Louisiana.
That's in Louisiana.
I like Louisiana.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
it.
Well, we'll
Send
talk
me the
more. We'll
info.
talk more.
Yeah, send me info.
We'll be filming
I'd be
in
interested.
we're going to be filming in my neck of the woods, Chris, in Pennsylvania,
Yes.
Jersey.
Yes. We can get him
So,
in one of the like a Pair with the Normal episode.
Yeah.
I like it.
So we'll
Yeah,
loop
let
you
me
in
know.
on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
good.
Do you like Cheez-Its?
I love
Never
Cheez-Its.
mind. Continue.
Oh, all right.
Go ahead,
But
play
yeah,
us out.
I mean that's about it. That's it. So thank you guys for having me on. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you so much.
Mike. Thank you, Mary. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. And yeah, and it was great being here with you guys. And you guys are awesome. Keep it
Well,
up.
it was definitely your pleasure. That's for sure.
It definitely was.
Thanks everybody for watching.